James Harden is channeling his inner Kevin Hart.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy. He's been down since day one.
He dominates meaningless games and now has zero fucks given. The Beard had a hell of a party one night before training camp started for the Rockets. He was then not allowed to practice for COVID protocol, and his new head coach just called him out. Houston should absolutely trade James Harden before this gets worse. He's showing everyone what Houston already knows. He's a loser. I mean, on the court. Off the court, he is a legit winner. He's made lots of money and he's famous. And for some guys, that's enough. For others, they want to win. James Harden is not one of those players. This video reacts to this Harden situation and says the only trade the Rockets should accept. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells. Putting out 5 videos per week on this channel, Monday through Friday. And this week, Monday's video comes on a Sunday, and you can thank James Harden for that. And you know, we can all relate to James Harden here. You go out partying the night before, you get in trouble the next day at work, except I don't party with super famous rappers dropping $250,000. So maybe I'm just jealous of James Harden. I'll tell you who I'm not jealous of, Rockets fans. Because let's recap their best players weekend. He bought his friend, Lil Baby, about $300,000 worth of birthday gifts. He was hanging out with probably strippers. No offense, that's just Harden's track record. Because of this, he was not at the Rockets' first practice. Now, some people will say, hey, this isn't Harden not caring about winning. He's upset with the team, so he went out with friends. This is different. Okay, I would believe you if he didn't do this all the time. Remember when he went out partying right after losing in the playoffs? Yeah, you do that after a chip like LeBron James, not after an L. I don't care if that's how you blow off steam. It was just a horrible look. And let's forget that Harden is choosing partying over basketball. This is just sad. Like, as far as I could find, he's been friends with this guy for a little over a year. Why is he giving him $100,000? It almost seems like he needs this for his friends to hang out with him. We have seen that before with players and celebrities, unfortunately. But again, that's cool if all Harden wants out of basketball is to make money and be famous. And that's what it looks like for the Beard. So that means I don't want the Beard as my franchise player. Harden has proven again and again he is not a championship player. Yes, he puts up big stats, but they're meaningless. Harden is the greatest ISO player of all time. Of the top usage rate seasons in NBA history, Harden has the number 2 all-time season, and he's got 3 of them in the top 13. The problem? The highest champion on that list is Michael Jordan's 92-93 season. Everyone else lost. Isolation basketball is great for the regular season and stats, but it does not win. We have seen Harden choke in the biggest moments over and over. This tweet perfectly points out his favorite stat line in the biggest games is 2 for 11. The kinds of players we love are Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Those guys did their best work in the 4th quarter of playoff games. Harden does his best work on a Tuesday night in New York in the regular season. Now with this immature move right before camp, the Rockets should let him go. The new Rockets head coach silas clearly agrees. When he was asked about Harden's commitment to the team, he said that's something you're gonna have to ask him. Harden has already spoken, not just with his actions, but with his Instagram. He posted one of those emojis. John Wall says he wants Harden to be there. Honestly, I wanted him to be there because it would be fun to see this roster in the regular season. Wall and Harden in the backcourt, then Eric Gordon at the 3, PJ Tucker at the 4, and now Christian Wood? That is a really good regular season team. But now the Rockets should replace Harden. I mean, every day that he keeps showing the world who he really is, the more his trade value goes down. They need to accept a trade, and I think there's only one that makes sense. they have to trade for Ben Simmons. The two teams that might be willing to offer a huge package for Harden are Brooklyn and Philly. The problem with the Nets' offer is a lack of superstar level talent. James Harden is under contract for 2 more years, so while the Rockets should trade him, they don't absolutely have to. They should hold out for a star in return. And I don't care if Brooklyn offers like 6 first-round picks. It is not enough for the offensive MVP level talent of Harden. In the history of the NBA, whenever a team trades an A-plus player and they don't get something like that in return, even if it's B players and a lot of draft picks, the team that loses the A-plus player loses the trade. Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a first-round pick? The team with the star always wins. No one knows that better than Houston. The trade of the decade was 2012 James Harden for Jeremy Lamb, Kevin Martin, and 2 first-round picks. I don't care if it was 5 first-round picks. The Rockets won that trade. So why Ben Simmons specifically? Well, because he is by far the best young player available on the market. The Ringer cooked up a 3-team trade where the Nets would move pieces to Denver to send Michael Porter Jr. to Houston, but that's far-fetched. We know the Sixers are interested in the Beard to pair with Joel Embiid, so the Rockets need to make that deal. If not, I don't think they need to trade Harden immediately. I mean, they can hold out into the season and see what other offers materialize. ESPN reported that the Rockets are willing to, quote, get uncomfortable and actually put Harden on the court after demanding a trade. Why not? This is actually the best season for Harden to be a villain. He'll go out there every night without crowds to boo him because of the pandemic. But either way, this party before camp thing really does end the James Harden era in Houston. They traded for him in 2012 and made 0 finals despite pairing him with star after star. Harden proved yet again this year you cannot win a title with him as your franchise player. So what would the Rockets be getting with Ben Simmons on their roster? Well, Simmons is one of the best point forwards in the league, along with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Blake Griffin, if healthy. Simmons plays great in transition, he's one of the best defensive players in the league, but he won't shoot. That is what makes him different than every other guy on this list. But the Rockets are a good fit for Simmons, especially if John Wall's shot is what he says it is. Christian Wood is the perfect Ben Simmons center. He shot 37% from downtown last year. Yes, Simmons isn't better than James Harden, but there's no other deal the Rockets should accept. So I'm sorry if Harden fans were offended when I called him a loser earlier. Clearly he is a winner in life. Again, he's really famous, he's really rich, and for some guys that's enough. But if for Rockets fans they want to win a championship, they should be happy that Harden's time in Houston is almost over. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.